Allahu Ekber, Allahu Ekber. Allahu Ekber, Allahu Ekber. Eşhedü en la ilahe illallah. Eşhedü en la ilahe illallah. Eşhedü enne Muhammeden Resulullah. Eşhedü enne Muhammeden Resulullah. Hayya ale's-salâh. Hayya ale's-salâh. Hayya alel-felâh. Hayya alel-felâh. Allahu Ekber, Allahu Ekber. La ilahe illallah.
Esselamu aleyküm ve rahmetullahi ve berekatuh. Elhamdülillah, elhamdülillah. Elhamdülillahillezî hedâna lihâzâ ve mâ kunnâ linehtediye levlâ en hedânallâh. Ve mâ tevfîkî ve la i'tisâmî illâ billah. Aleyhi tevekkeltu ve ileyhi unîb. Neşhedü en la ilahe illallahu vahdehu la şerîke leh. Ve neşhedü enne seyyidena Muhammeden abduhu ve habibuhu ve rasuluh. Es-sâbiqu ilel enâmi nuruh ve rahmetul lil âlemîne zuhuruh. Sallallahu teâlâ ve alâ âlihi ve evlâdihi ve ashabihi ve ahfâdihi ve etbâ'ihi ecma'in. Amma ba'd. Feya ibâdallah, أوصيكم ونفسي العاصية بتقوى الله وطاعته. قال الله تعالى في محكم كتابه الكريم: أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وتولى عنهم وقال يا أسفا على يوسف وابيضت عيناه من الحزن فهو كظيم. وقال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم: ما أنزل الله داء إلا أنزل له شفاء. صدق رسول الله. All praise is due to Allah. We thank Him, we seek His help and forgiveness. We also seek refuge in Him against the evils of our deeds. Whoever Allah guides, nobody can mislead him. And whoever He leaves and go astray will not find guidance. I testify that there is no deity worthy of worship except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is His servant and messenger. May He subhanahu wa ta'ala bestow peace and blessings upon this noble prophet, his family, his companions and his followers. Ameen. Dear brothers, sisters, and beloved children, mental health is an important topic that we need to be aware of and need to be addressed, as mental health issues affect the lives of millions around the world, a topic relatively neglected within our Muslim communities. Mental health has come under the spotlight more after the COVID-19 epidemic crisis. Mental health is as important as our physical health, and we should do everything in our hands to keep ourselves healthy bodily and psychologically. Even the prophets, alayhimussalam, may Allah be pleased with them all, were not immune to psychological issues. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us about Prophet Yaqub alayhi salam in Surah Yusuf, verse 84. وتولى عنهم وقال يا أسف على يوسف وابيضت عيناه من الحزن فهو كظيم. And he, Yaqub, turned away from them and said, Alas, my grief for Yusuf. And his eyes turned white, he lost his sight because of the sorrow that he was suppressing. If the prophets were not affected by certain events, in their lives that affected them mentally and psychologically, then there is no surprise that everyone can be affected at differing levels. There is a common misconception in the Muslim community that we often hear that mental illness develops because one doesn't have a strong Iman. When someone makes the decision to ask a psychologist or psychiatrist for help, this is seen by Muslims, by many believers, as confirmation of the lack of Iman in that person. Nothing can be further from that truth, from the truth. In fact, regardless of our religiosity, we can have mental and psychological issues. Whether we do tahajjud or pray 5 times a day or not, we may still suffer mentally. My respected brothers and sisters, but to be able to understand mental health and mental illness, we need to define it. What is mental illness? Without a good understanding of its causes, we cannot address this problem. We can think of mental illness as an illness caused by problems in life that affect our minds and our psychology. Specifically, these problems in life can be divided into 2 core areas: love and work. By love, we are talking about our relationships and our family life. And by work, we can talk about relationships that involve one's studies or their daily job. In both cases, mental health problems can be caused by a sense of estrangement from the relationships that matter. My respected brothers and sisters, these mental health issues should be addressed sooner rather than later by individuals who are affected, by speaking with a mental health expert or getting professional help. Furthermore, as Muslims, we can also get additional support from our own religious and spiritual life, not as a replacement for professional help, but as a complementary measure. For example, social support and solidarity is a key feature of our religious life. By standing in solidarity with each other and not stigmatizing people who are suffering from mental health issues, we can make a difference. In the case of Salah, we perform it in congregation in the interest of social solidarity. Although we are not able to pray together in congregation in our masjids, we can still pray for each other in our homes in solidarity with each other. We can still pray for each other in our homes in solidarity with each other, showing care and support for each other, calling each other and asking each other's well-being. Although we are not able to have iftar together as in last Ramadan we just passed, we can still keep each other in our prayers after iftar. Hajj is a similar institution that builds social consciousness and gives us a sense of community. Although we are not able to go on Hajj during this time, we can still remember those in need and donate our qurbanis to the poor and needy in solidarity with each other. These connections, my respected brothers and sisters, and a sense of solidarity and social support all help improve the state of well-being of mental health sufferers. If we keep the pillars of Islamic life, we can support our mental health, but only to a certain extent. But we need to be aware that we also need to take care of our mental health like everyone else, and not just rely on our religiosity or spirituality. The idea that Muslims are not susceptible to such issues is a false assumption. And actually, this illusion of our exceptionalism leaves those of us who have mental health problems more marginalized and estranged by our communities. It is in the nature of life on earth that it must involve suffering and problems, whether one is Muslim or not. In Surah Balad, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, لَقَدْ خَلَقْنَا الْإِنسَانَ فِي كَبَدٍ. Truly, we have created human being in hardship. From our mothers carrying us in hardship, to them giving birth to us in hardship, to us teething in hardship, to our livelihoods being in hardship. The various commentaries on this verse make it clear that living means to face hardships, problems, and difficulties in life. When Shaitan tempted Adam alayhi salam and Hawa alayhi salam, he succeeded in getting all of us exiled from Jannah. In Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 36, we are told, فأزلهما الشيطان عنها فأخرجهما مما كان فيه وقلنا اهبطوا بعضكم لبعض عدو ولكم في الأرض مستقر ومتاع إلى حين. And we, Allah said, go down all of you as enemies to one another, and you will have upon the earth a place of settlement and provision for a time. Unlike paradise, on this earth we are not spared of the regrets of the past and the worries of the future. We are also affected by illness or old age. As earthly creatures, we are bound by time. We may live in the present moment, but we carry with us the awareness of both the past and the future. And that knowledge can have effects on our mental well-being, dear brothers and sisters. The capacity to remember the past brings with it the possibility of unceasing sorrow, while the ability to envision the future brings with it unlimited fear. It's no wonder, therefore, that depression and anxiety are the most common psychological disturbances in the history of humankind. Some may be thinking that since suffering is part of life, there is no point in doing anything about it. But let's not forget that Prophet's teaching in Bukhari that urges us to seek help when we need it, when we suffer from any problem. Rasul ﷺ says, مَا أَنزَلَ اللَّهُ دَاءً إِلَّا أَنزَلَ لَهُ شِفَاءً. There is no disease that Allah created, except that He also has created its treatment. This is the objective of mental health services, dear brothers and sisters, to assist people who are struggling to live relatively satisfying and productive lives. We must therefore be vigilant about our mental health, as much as perhaps even more than we are about our physical health. And we must consult relevant experts when necessary. Although monitoring one's own mental health is a difficult task, it is possible to identify when one is taking undue mental strain. There are signs such as mood disturbance, for example, which can change our sleeping patterns, eating patterns, or energy levels. In the case of depressed mood, one can struggle to concentrate. One is easily overwhelmed by feelings of hopelessness. Activities that used to give you joy in the past may no longer make you happy. Frequently, one thinks about ending one's life. But more than anything, people who are struggling psychologically will find it harder to function. They will find it difficult to complete the task usually expected of them, and whether at home or school or at work. Paradoxically, it is often the people closest to you who notice the changes, not you yourself. So be careful of discounting their observations. Be compassionate towards yourself and be compassionate towards those who are struggling with themselves. Remember that life itself is painful. And don't assume that the one who is suffering should just do as you do. People's minds are put together in different kinds of ways, and what works for one person will not necessarily agree with the next. ألا إن أحسن الكلام وأبلغ النظام كلام الله الملك العزيز العلام كما قال الله تعالى وتبارك في الكلام وإذا قرئ القرآن فاستمعوا له وأنصتوا لعلكم ترحمون وقال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم التائب من الذنب كمن لا ذنب له واستغفروه إنه غفور رحيم استغفر الله استغفر الله استغفر الله اللهم اغفر للمؤمنين والمؤمنات والمسلمين والمسلمات الأحياء منهم والأموات إنك قريب مجيب الدعوات برحمتك يا أرحم. Esteemed believers, we have talked about what is mental health and how can we cope with, especially in the time of hardship, which is COVID-19. And this is a very important subject, and it is not against having a mental issue, mental disorder, because of the COVID-19 and such, occasions, is not against our faith. You may have very strong, solid Iman, strong faith in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and you may also have some psychological problems, spiritual problems. This is very normal. What is abnormal is, brothers and sisters, to ignore it. Is to ignore it and to act like there is no problem at all. There is no problem as it is seen as a kind of lack of Iman. Astaghfirullah. It is entirely against the fact. Inshallah, we will be continuing our khutbah in the second part with the mental health services. What can we do to cope with? In our individual life, how can we act to cope with these kind of psychological disorders and mental health issues? Mental health services can be expensive, my dear brothers and sisters. Thankfully, alhamdulillah, there are some excellent services that offer help locally. Mine and Anfield and Let's Talk are two of these that offer help to those who seek support and help for mental health issues. The current COVID-19 epidemic and its effects on our social life is a mental health emergency, as its effects have had and still continue to have a huge impact on our mental health. On their official website, Mind and Field gives us some practical tips on how to maintain our mental health during the COVID-19 epidemic. Some of the advice given are those: connecting with people. This is very important, my brothers and sisters. If you can't meet up with people or groups you like to see in person, make plans to video chat. You can also arrange phone calls or send instant messages or texts. If you are feeling anxious about coronavirus or spending a lot of time at home, you may find it helpful to talk about these worries with someone you trust, especially if they are in a similar situation. Eating regularly and staying hydrated. This is also very important. Your appetite might have changed since the start of the lockdown. This may be because your routine has changed, or you have been less active than usual. If possible, try to eat regular meals and keep a balanced diet, as this can help your mood and energy levels. Drink water regularly. Drinking enough water is important for your mental and physical health. Changing your routine might affect when you drink or what fluids you drink. It could help to set an alarm or use an application to remind you if you are self-isolating. You can ask someone to drop off essential food items for you. If they do this, ask them to leave food at your doorstep to avoid face-to-face contact with each other. Try to keep active. Build physical activity into your daily routine, if possible. This can include cleaning your home regularly, physical exercises, walking indoors or outdoors, following online workouts, following videos that teach different exercises and applying them. If you are getting active indoors or outdoors, the current government guidance for most of us is to stay a safe distance, at least 2 meters, from any people you don't live together. Get sunlight and fresh air. Getting sunlight and fresh air can benefit both your mental and physical well-being, my respected brothers and sisters. It can improve your mood, reduce feelings of stress or anger, and make you feel more relaxed. Bismillah. Many of us spending a lot of time indoors at the moment. This may mean we are not spending as much time in the nature as we would like. But it is possible to get the positive effects of nature while staying indoors. You could try the following. Spend time with the windows open to let the fresh air in. Arrange a comfortable space to sit. For example, by a window where you can look out over a view of trees or the sky, or watch birds or other animals. Look at photos of your favorite places in nature. Use them as the background on your mobile phone or computer screen, or print and put them up on your walls. Listen to natural sounds like recordings or applications that play bird songs, ocean waves, and rainfall. Get as much natural light as you can. Spend time in your garden if you have one, or open your front or back door and sit on the doorstep. If you have access to green space like a garden, you could bring some natural materials in to decorate your living space, or use them in art projects. This could include leaves, flowers, feathers, tree bark, or seeds. You may be able to buy seeds, flowers, or plants online for delivery to grow and keep indoors. If you order items for delivery, ask to have them left at your doorstep, again to avoid face-to-face contact. If you are feeling anxious, it might help to plan a safe space in your home and you will go to. You can also find ways to comfort yourself if you are feeling anxious. For example, there are games and puzzles you can use to distract yourself, and breathing exercises which may help. If you are feeling claustrophobic or trapped, open the windows to let the fresh air in, or you could spend time sitting on your doorstep or in the garden if you have one again. Try looking at the sky out of the window or from your doorstep. This can help to give you a sense of space. Regularly change the rooms you spend some time in. It is essential that we maintain our mental well-being and increase awareness about mental health around us. To improve awareness and to bring more help and support to those who suffer from mental health issues, you can donate to institutions working for mental well-being, such as the aforementioned Mind and Health field. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us and everyone around us maintain their mental health and our bodily well-being. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help all of us who suffer from mental health issues and attain complete healing. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala safeguard us from coronavirus and its effects on our mental and spiritual well-being. Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah hamdal kamilin, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulina Muhammadin wa alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. تعظيما لنبيه وتكريما لصفيه فقال عز وجل من قائل مخبرا وآمرا إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد كما صليت على سيدنا إبراهيم وعلى آل سيدنا إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد كما باركت على سيدنا إبراهيم وعلى آل سيدنا إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم ارض عن الأربعة الخلفاء سيدنا أبي بكر وعمر وعثمان وعلي ذوي الصدق والوفاء وبقية العشرة المبشرة وآل بيت المصطفى وعن الأنصار والمهاجرين والتابعين إلى يوم الجزاء. اللهم اغفر للمؤمنين والمؤمنات والمسلمين والمسلمات الأحياء منهم والأموات إنك قريب مجيب الدعوات برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. وصلى الله على سيد المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. أقم الصلاة إن الصلاة تنهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر ولذكر الله أكبر والله يعلم ما تصنعون.